Is it a party? It's like, yes. Is it a conference? Yes.
This is a whole different scale. I mean, 30 to 40,000 hackers, you can't imagine it.
We play with all the things that the bad guys play with.
DEF CON is this open and welcome community. We call it Hacker Summer Camp.
People of different backgrounds and communities and flavors.
Lockpicking village, car hacking village.
One of the most powerful generals did a jello shot at a hacker conference.
It's not the typical hacker that you see in TV and movies.
For 2 weeks out of the year, I come down to Las Vegas. We get to be a rock star.
And we're gonna play how we want, which is gonna be with really geeky stuff like radios and Wi-Fi.
You really have to throw yourself in on this.
And in first place, with a prize of $4 million.
My name is Dimitri, and this is my first DEF CON. I'm a cybersecurity student at Eastern Michigan University, a cyber athlete for the US Cyber Games. In high school, I'd heard about DEF CON. Things aligned this summer between my studies and friends also going. It seemed like a really, really good chance to go. I had the money, so I chased it down.
Just one for you?
Yes, please. Do you still have the hardware badges by chance?
Don't have them at the moment. You can check. It's not that we don't have them. We haven't received them yet.
Okay.
So please come back and check later. Okay, for now, this is your badge to
Okay.
get in.
Didn't get the badge?
I know, I was a little bummed. But I have this in the meantime. And there's a book inside, a sticker set, and this cool bag. So I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna come back though for that hardware badge. The one person that I'm actually pretty starstruck to try and meet is Alith Dennis. I listened to a Darknet Diaries episode where she was on, and then I randomly connected with her on LinkedIn. She added me back. So I was super excited about that. I've been to MySecCon, GERCon, and B-Sides Detroit, events like that, but this is a whole different scale. I don't know if I can quite imagine the concept yet, but I'm super excited to find out.
I'm Jeff Moss, better known as the Dark Tangent, and the founder of DEF CON 33 years ago.
Okay, so the first DEF CON, it was not my plan to do it. I ran a bulletin board, and one of the networks, PlatinumNet, was out of Canada. The guy who was running it says, I've got to shut down PlatinumNet. I want to give a going away party for all my PlatinumNet users. I don't know, maybe a couple thousand users. Can we work together to do that? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you throw a party. And I'm just like mentally in the zone, starting to think about it, and he disappears. And he never answers another message. Never heard from him again, but I had that idea of a party. So I'm like, well, instead of inviting just PlatinumNet people, I'm gonna invite everybody. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just out of college, big fan of war games, also phone freaking, and the number 3 key on the keypad, there used to be numbers on the keypad, was DEF. And so in the hip hop culture, some people would say, yo, that's def number 3 on the phone. I was with a friend, he was a music producer. We're trying to explain that I wanted to do this party. And they said, yo, man, that's def number 3 on the phone. And then another guy says, yeah, like, sounds like you're gonna have a DEF CON. And I'm like, yeah, it is gonna be pretty DEF CON. And then it was like war games, defense condition, like in the movies when the whole vision was DEF CON. And so we did it in Vegas, 24-hour city. Back then, airfares were cheap, food was cheap. We got 100 people together in a room, like as big as this room. We didn't sleep. Everybody was just so amped up.
It was wild. Back in the day, it was just a wild little conference that cost $30 to attend, and it was held at Alexis Park. They would steal the front door welcome mat every year. The speakers wouldn't show up, and they'd have to go find them drunk, passed out in a fountain, and drag them in to present their talk.
Smokes were cheap, booze was cheap. I slept at the Alexis Park beside the pool. I am sitting at a table and somebody's trying to explain to me how to scrape passwords out of memory using, what do they call it, the cold stuff?
Liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen, and how they could steal any password off of any chip in the world.
And you crammed as much as possible in, so you're doing this for 20 to 22 hours a day. You'd be staying up into the middle of the night around a pool, talking with a random group of 7 folks, and one of them's dressed like a furry. And you're talking just these intricate details of some research project that they've been working on.
Not trying to pick who the cool kids are, and not trying to limit the attendance, magically steered us to be a reflection of the community. I think that's one of our reasons why we've succeeded all these years.
People feel immediately when you say the word hacker that hackers are criminals. I don't think that that's correct. Hackers are people that want to understand how things work and want to tinker. Criminals are people that want to benefit and make money and advance their self off of it rather than helping the community or helping better the technology that we're all playing around with.
Most people think of hacking and they think, I'm in, and like computer hacking is it. But with DEF CON, I think it really opens a lot of people's eyes to the variety that there is in hacking. And that can be everything from hacking pieces of equipment, devices, to physical bypass, like doors, locks, alarms, cars, anything that can be made to do something it is not supposed to do.
We play with all the things that the bad guys play with, because what we want to know is whether or not we're safe. In order to protect a modern society, you need hackers. You need people with a hacker mindset.
There's a little bit of that countercultural component because you are learning things that people aren't giving to you. Sometimes you have to cross a boundary to do that. And certainly that tension was there with the government. And it's been fascinating as somebody who has been a part of government and been a part of this community for a long time, watching that grow over time to get closer and closer together. In the last about 6 years, feds have become celebrities. Retired General Paul Nakasone, who's the former NSA and Cybercom director, doing a Jello shot on stage with Jeff Moss. Stop, think about that. One of the most powerful generals did a Jello shot at a hacker conference on stage. That again just speaks to how the communities have come together because there is a mutual interest and we are in this all together. There's still some mistrust. But I can say without a doubt that the government appreciates and really understands the value of the community. Being able to understand the hacker mindset is what makes us as a people, as a country, and as organizations safer every day.
The hacker mindset, I can give you some general characteristics. They love the joy of discovery, demonstrating like mastery over something, like totally understanding something. You have to be okay with failure, because you're going to fail 50 billion times in a row till you figure out how to hack your Xbox or whatever. A lot of times a good hacker is almost like the liberal arts of technology. They know a lot of different disciplines, and they somehow tie this all together, especially in the early days. It was all about who you knew. You couldn't know everything because you couldn't search everything because there was no search engine. So you had to have a pretty good Rolodex of people to contact. So the portrayal of this lone hacker in the basement, master of the universe, Mr. Robot, but I bet you Mr. Robot has a huge Rolodex and he's suffered tons of amounts of failure and is super, persevere, trying over and over again.
I printed 120 of these. I brought 3 because all of the rest fell apart. That's 2 full plates full that I tried and failed at getting to print, and I got 3 out of them.
I had no idea what this was going to grow into, and I don't think any of us knew how all-encompassing and consuming this would be.
30 people in a hot tub was what DEF CON started as. And now you've got 30,000 people attending in the Las Vegas Convention Center.
DEF CON is the Renaissance Festival of cybersecurity. Folks come here in costume, in suits. They descend into the heat of Las Vegas to share their passion on any part of technology you could imagine.
30 different villages and the vendor spaces and contests and talks and content and hands-on experiences.
And you don't just get to see someone do a PowerPoint, you get to do it. Is it possible to hack an espresso coffee machine? Yes, somebody talked about that a couple of years ago.
We have everything from trainings where you can reverse engineer malware to famously we had a Hack the Sat competition where we worked with the government to try to pen test satellite infrastructure, all the way to this year's AIXCC challenge where we partnered with DARPA.
Every year, this is a ridiculous undertaking. There's something like 1,000 or 1,500 goons total.
I think it's a misconception that the conference is put on by a bunch of people whose job it is to do event production. It's simply not true. The goons that you see in red shirts on the floor are volunteers, from myself in press to the folks who work at Merch Village to our security goons, all the way to the very incredibly smart people that run the networks and the Wi-Fi networks at DEF CON that people rely on to browse safely.
Anytime you're setting up a network environment like DEF CON, you are literally setting up security features in an environment where people are there to test security features. Out of 33 years, we haven't screwed it up yet. We don't intend to do it now.
1 second.
So we've gotten a message here that says, looks like the Wi-Fi is melting. Nothing to see here. Everything is fine. In the past, we've had people walk around with 30 access points strapped to their back and a car battery, de-authing the network everywhere they stand.
At CES, they probably would have been found and walked out of CES and said, don't come back. Whereas we're like, okay.
We took photos with them.
Thanks, yeah, it's cool. Nice apparatus.
Some of the origins of why DEF CON started was really like, hey, there's some brilliant people that live in all different regions of the world or in the United States. Let's all meet together and like talk about the things that we did over the last year, or let's hang out together and hack some stuff together and figure out something different.
Anytime a new piece of technology found its way, ships, aviation, satellites, smart cars, anytime anything gets connected, a whole new community shows up.
Welcome to Car Hacking Village. I've done video. Oh boy. Uh-oh, how do we fix that? This is a new one for me. So right now we are currently sitting in a Rivian Amazon van. Rivian's one of our sponsors who also helped create some flags in our CTF. We're allowing people to plug into this vehicle and find ways to hack into it. The main purpose of the Car Hacking Village is training and awareness. So we want to help people understand, how do you get into car hacking? What is car hacking? What tools do you need? Yeah, a lot of people might not understand the quantity of things that can be hacked on vehicles. It's not just like your maybe infotainment system that most people are seeing get hacked. A lot of the different sensors that they're putting in vehicles nowadays are able to be hacked, like our TPMS sensor that's in the tires, the radar or LiDAR sensors that people are putting in some of these newer self-driving vehicles. The whole back-end web mobile API side of things, mechanics are kind of the OG hackers of automotive. So I think that might be a reason why there's some uniqueness to the car hacking side, is we're not just hackers here, we're tinkerers, we're engineers, we're a bunch of collection of people that are just trying to find ways to modify vehicles and, do something different.
Here we are live in the village, and right behind me is the beautiful soundproof booth. I'm Jen. I am a professional social engineer. I was a judge this year at the Social Engineering Community's Vishing competition. Previously, I actually competed and I won. We are going to pull a few of objectives, or essentially just pieces of information that in the Vishing competition, the competitors actually try to get. These are some of the objectives that we use when judging the Vishing competition. I'm gonna pick a handful of these, maybe something like the Wi-Fi SSID name. I'm not exactly sure, we'll see where it takes us.
Hi, this is Nicole.
Hi Nicole, this is Stephanie. How are you today?
Oh, hey there, how are you?
Yeah, I know, right? It's tough to have to work on weekends. I'm sorry you have this shift. We prepare our pretext, or essentially that's like the story you tell on the phone. I'm actually calling from headquarters. We've had some issues at your store. It looks like we haven't processed any credit card payments yet this morning, so I was calling to double check that everything's...
We've been open for an hour.
Yeah, that's, that we got an alert about that, and that's actually why we're calling. And then you lead the conversation, you guide it where you'd like to go. When you move the mouse and you wake up the computer, does it have the little Windows logo? It should be, or the big blue screen that where you're typing in your password or your username?
So I just logged in and it does, yeah, it's with us.
Okay, awesome. So when you logged in, did you have to get something to your phone? Normally we get a text or use the Authenticator app.
No, just my password.
Could you open whatever browser you use most commonly? I'm going to need to have you go to a website to ensure that the systems are actually checking in appropriately.
Okay, so
Wi-Fi dash
it's not
speed.
working.
Oh, do you see an error code?
The file system is full.
The file system is full. Okay, well, that doesn't... It does sound bad, right? We make them more secure so that the real bad guys can't use the same tactics to get in. I am going to reset that network and get it all up for you. By the time you get back there, it should be good to go.
All right.
Have a great day. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. We kind of hopped around and got, I believe, a handful of objectives from that, just having no prep at all. Imagine what we could do with prep.
The first time that I attended DEF CON, it was pretty astounding to me that So many people within this community felt so thoroughly comfortable and confident in their own skin. And that wasn't something that I was really confident myself, genuinely expressing who I am, especially on the outside. And so I felt like I'd found this island of misfit toys, and I just completely fell in love with the community and with the people.
I talk to people and they say, I've never been here before, but now I found my home. I found my people. I found my tribe. I can have these conversations that I'll never have at home. I might have them online maybe, but I can have like a year's worth of conversation in a weekend. I thought I was a weirdo. I'm not a weirdo. I'm just rare.
One of my favorite things about DEF CON is that it's so diverse. I run into more people of different backgrounds and communities and flavors and lifestyles than I do anywhere else in my life.
And there's just a complete suspension of ego and lack of judgment in this community that helps to foster a very welcoming environment for everyone.
You can come here and not do a single technical thing and still fill your time. So there's really something for everyone.
What happened is DEF CON turns into what we call like a meta conference. We're a conference of conferences, or we're a con of cons. There's all these sort of like pre-game events and community events, toxic barbecue. A lot of people come to town early. They want to kind of get in the mood. They like exotic meat. Snake, alligator, weird ostrich, whatever happens to be, and that's their angle, right? Like LineCon, people would line up for hours, 2 days in advance. We're still setting up the show, and there's a guy sitting in line. And then it turns out, as people are hanging out in line, they talk to the people around them. And there's beach balls. Next thing, people are passing out pizzas. This year, there's a guy who's got a mobile DJ set. Other people DEF CON shoot. They like to go shoot guns. Maybe they're from a country where they can't shoot guns, but they can do it in Vegas, right? So then there's another subgroup. And then we have pool parties. There's just some people that live for the nightlife and they go to the pool party. It's sort of like super fans. They want to do their own thing. They've got their own crew now that's showing up. They want to throw their own party. There's a meetup in the community for veterans. There's a meetup for recovering alcoholics, women in information security professionals, blacks in cyber. There's a lot of groups. We don't want to say no, but we want to say yes, if it makes sense, and we have the space for it. So I think the hardest problem for us is saying no.
Here we are, DEF CON. Welcome to Hacker Jeopardy.
Got my badge. I had to stop by human registration, and they were swapping the paper badges for the real badges. Got a shirt because I did a mobile hacking challenge. I got a nice book, a Rootkits and Bootkits book. DEF CON care packages. Oh, this bag probably gained like 15 pounds. I keep meeting people who are like, oh, this is my first DEF CON 2. You should check out this thing that I just did. Oh yeah, well I did this awesome thing as well. Like you should hit that. Well, I hit this. And then meet back here, and if you're like other cool stuff, let me know. It's awesome. I can't imagine like doing 10% of all the things going on. There's so many things to do.
I don't think that it's limited to just hackers. You can find so much art and so much music and so many creative people here.
My name's Mar Williams. I am an artist for DEF CON. I have a gallery in Denver called Feral Gallery. I've been contributing art in one form or another for DEF CON since DEF CON 17. I've worked in art direction, creating themes, logos, illustrations, built a visual feel, created signage, giant floor stickers, t-shirts, selfie walls, all kinds of stuff. So all like the projection and video work that you see is largely Zebler. I led the badge project for DEF CON 31, 32, and 33. I did the concepts, designs, and coordinated the project itself. I worked with a bunch of talented people on these projects that did everything from 3D modeling to game development to metal forging and beadwork. This year, I did the badges. I kind of based this on a jeweler's lens, if you know what those look like. You have these 3 different colored lenses. So like if I take this magenta and I put it with yellow and I look at some of the art around, you'll see like skeletons pop out. If I combine the cyan and magenta, it's kind of blue, and then you'll see circuitry pop out. Badges are really important to the culture. Badge life, people collect these badges and they want to show off the stuff that they make, as well as have something really cool souvenir to bring home.
Yeah, this is a collection over the past 10, 15 years of official and unofficial badges. A PCB board is not somewhere you expect to find art. That was kind of the first thing that drew me in personally, was seeing these striking figures on a circuit board that I have never seen before. Every village kind of has their own badge. It's spread to other conferences even. It's become a movement of where these show up. People line up in droves to buy them and collect them.
Here I have about 38 to 40 badges. One of my favorite badges or most helpful is probably, if I can find it, probably this one. Need a charger on the go. This is one of my favorite SAOs. Death Star from last year of Aerospace Village. This is my Godzilla badge. It is one of my most unique badges I have. Took about 2 weeks to build. I'm actually coming here to go down to Badge Life Village to get a new badge for my collection.
So here's my black badge from 2019 and DEF CON 27. The way that DEF CON works, they select a limited number of contests every year, and the people who win those competitions at DEF CON would be awarded a black badge at closing ceremonies. Essentially, limitless bragging rights for the rest of eternity and free access to DEF CON for the rest of their lives. 2019 was the year that I won my black badge for the social engineering Capture the Flag contest. The call time that I was assigned was after business hours, and it was a tobacco company. Because it was after hours, all their phones were gonna go to voicemail, so I had to come up with a different strategy, and I decided that I would target their regional salespeople, and I was able to source those cell phone numbers and come up with a significant amount of information in that first round that I could just have them confirm. So, are you using this type of laptop? Yes, points. Are you using this type of operating system? Yes, points. Are you using this type of mail client? Yes, points. And I assume that it's this type of software? Yes, points. So when I called them, it just sounded like, hello, flag, 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 flag. And every call went just like that. The next person closest to me in the call round was over 100 points behind me. I have decimated the competition. I was able to take my 3-month-old baby who was there with me at DEF CON up on stage, and it was probably one of the most insane moments of my entire life. And I remember I turned to the contest runner and I was like, so I guess I can't compete anymore. That's the only thing I'm thinking of is you're never gonna let me play the game again. This is a disaster. Some people are gonna see it as being elite. Some people are gonna see it as being, not something that genuinely demonstrates skill. But if you're in the DEF CON community, then you understand how much dedication and sacrifice goes into winning these competitions.
DARPA launched the AI Cyber Challenge and has collaborated with ARPA-H to change the world. And as you will shortly see, we have.
So AICC is a public competition to challenge competitors to develop autonomous systems that find and patch vulnerabilities at scale. The competition was first announced 2 years ago, and we had collaboration from the get-go from frontier model companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. Collaboration with the open source community, the Linux Foundation, the Open Source Security Foundation. We see a massive amount of open source code, often maintained by individuals, volunteers, that makes its way into critical systems that we rely on for everyday basic functions: water, power, food. This is foundational technology for our way of life, and we need to make sure that it is resilient, reliable, impervious ideally to attacks. The top prizes for winning AICC: first place will get $4 million, second place will get $3 million, and third place will get $1.5 million. If you know what it takes to develop a system like this, even in part, you appreciate that they've done something incredible just by getting to this point.
And in first place, this team exceeded in all but one category of challenge. Congratulations, Team Atlanta.
Been waiting for so much long time, and finally we see the result. And we are almost 40 people. So yeah, every day we just work hard. We're gonna pour this money back to some of the research that we're gonna do in the future. And many of our students will get scholarship under this fund.
Their accomplishment becomes the new baseline. They will be setting what the new bar is for everyone.
As much as I encourage people to go check out the talks and the content and go to the contests and see all the things, it's the drunken conversation at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in a random hallway where you find a person that may end up being your best friend for life. And every year coming back to DEF CON, it feels like a homecoming.
Do I love DEF CON? I mean, I've spent 10 years here. I don't think I would if I didn't love DEF CON.
It's not just about the computer and the security and the hacking. It's about finding your people. 14 years ago, I brought my wife here. 9 months afterwards, I had my son, right? This is really where my family comes from, right? DEF CON is always going to be part of my existence. I've been to people's funerals, we've been to people's weddings. And that's why after 28 years of doing this, I keep coming back.
And I always wonder what my life been had I just kept working at Ernst & Young or Secure Computing or some other, security company. Because I've watched my friends have great success in their careers, but I'm throwing the party for them, and I get to see them every year. And I don't have the stress of filling out the TPS report, and battling with my boss. It's pretty fulfilling, but it's really hard to explain why. In the early days when people would ask me, well, what's going to happen with DEF CON? You run out of money or something happens, what are you going to do? And I'm just like, well, if I get hit by a bus and I die, I'm going to take the money that's left in the bank and my will, and I'll tell people to throw a giant party. But then lately, last 5-10 years, I'm like, no, I want it to keep going. My greatest gift would be if I could figure out how to let this continue. We also sort of unintentionally planted the seeds for all these generations by just getting the content out there. They come here sometimes and they leave with a different view of how the world works.
I didn't know people would be just so accepting and just so open to just talking about anything.
We got someone come up to us early and he's like, oh, you guys are first timers, whatever. I'm gonna see if I can get a mentor to come around, show you guys around.
Everyone was super happy to be like, oh, you're new? I'll show you everything.
I'm looking forward to eventually getting to the point where I can be as cool as a lot of these people are.
You never know who you're gonna run into. It could be your best friend. It could be a colleague, a work colleague. You don't know. The only way to find out is interact with people.
Hi.
I'm Dimitri.
Hi, it's so great to
feel
meet
like
you.
I already
Yeah,
know you.
no. How are you?
It's been awesome. I can't quite process that I'm here still.
The first few years that I attended DEF CON, I soaked up every aspect of the content that I could. Then, you participate in contests, you give talks, you do your own research, and you start to find your tribe. It's definitely something that's volunteer and motivated by that genuine need to want to give back to the community and bring other people into this group.
I didn't quite process how many different things would be going on.
Right.
I went to a couple talks, but really I just spent the rest of the day walking around, trying to say hi to people I knew, meet new people.
Get all the swag.
Right? Yeah. I mean, my backpack probably gained 30 pounds.
It is thoroughly insane, the amount of effort that goes into this from all the departments. And I think that most of the department leads and their seconds especially rage quit as soon as closing ceremonies are over. Every year, maybe a week after the end of DEF CON, somebody will tell them, how much of an impact DEF CON made on them. That one new person and their experience at DEF CON that changes it all for all of us, and we just say, well, shit, we've got to do it all again now, don't we?
It's exceeded my expectations 100%. This is exactly what I wanted and more. I definitely see why people come for decades on end. I know what I'm going to be doing for the next 30 years in August, so this is pretty awesome.